Guys, it is week 10 of the NFL season. Already one game in the books, but many more to play today. We have Jeff Corcini and also Russ Bliss from FantasyFootballStarters.com to give us all our week 10 fantasy football advice.
That's right.
All right, getting started. Let's start. We'll get to all the Cardinals stuff in just a minute, of course. But first, Jeff, let's start with the final bye weeks. A couple of teams not playing today, but this is the last bye week.
You got it. The Giants and the Texans. So this is that they're on bye this week. After this week, you don't have to worry about your teams not playing or whatnot. So this is it for the byes, Tess.
Bye weeks make a big difference in if you have players sitting out again, right?
You know what? I had a quarterback. I had Matt Schaub, and I had to drop somebody and pick somebody up right away. I forgot that he was on a bye. So these things happen, and that's what Sunday mornings are for.
All right, and Russ, while the bye weeks end after this week, as we were just saying, the injuries, though, never stop being a factor.
No, the injuries are always there for all the teams in the NFL. And let's go ahead and start with Anquan Boldin. Anquan Boldin didn't play last week. We know that he was very unhappy about that. But Anquan Boldin is probable for this game. He is expected to start, so he should be good with the ankle injury. Also, Antonio Bryant for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was listed as doubtful, but he didn't travel with the team to Miami, so he's definitely not going to play.
Okay.
DeAngelo Williams for the Carolina Panthers, the running back. He's questionable with a knee injury. Then you've also got Brian Westbrook. He's probable with the ankle and concussion injury, so he is expected to play tonight. And Clinton Portis of the Washington Redskins, he's out with a concussion. He could be out a couple of weeks with that.
Yeah, concussion, not something to recover from quickly.
No.
All right, but that's great that we've got Anquan back today to take on the Seahawks.
Yes.
All right. Okay, Jeff, let's talk about something that never hurts, of course. We're talking about a quarterback who puts up a lot of points for his fantasy football teams. Let's start with Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner, I know, 300 yards, over 327 yards and 3 touchdowns is what we're predicting for the game today. If you look at what happened last week, he threw 5 touchdown passes. Now, granted, you know, that was a great job by the Cardinals, but Tommy Harris was also hurt, so that made a big difference. And then you got Brett Favre. We're predicting the same thing. He's going up against the Detroit Lions. We all know how the hapless Lions are this year. Favre's throwing touchdowns all over the place, probably 310 yards and another 3 touchdowns.
And you're liking Aaron Rodgers, too, it sounds like.
You know, Aaron Rodgers, the big game against the Cowboys, Tess, but he's been struggling. They actually had an offensive meeting, players meeting only, and so we think that this is going to be a week that Rodgers will probably throw for 2 touchdowns and another 300 yards. So these are the 3 quarterbacks that hundreds of people have been asking us about on our forums and the most popular picks this week.
Okay, very good. Russ, let's go back to you for this week's, the other side of it. Doesn't hurt, of course, to have some good running backs, and I know your first player, always a good play, the league leader in points right now.
Right.
Not points, I shouldn't say points.
Well, rushing
yards.
yards.
Do they call it points?
Well, in some cases. Chris Johnson of the Tennessee Titans, he's been just incredible the past couple of weeks since they came back from the bye. 363 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns. He gets the league's worst run defense in the NFL, the Buffalo Bills, this week. The Buffalo Bills haven't allowed less than 155 yards rushing to an opponent since week number 2 of the season. So definitely, Chris Johnson's a great play this week.
Okay.
Also, you've got Ronnie Brown of the Miami Dolphins. Ronnie Brown has been struggling a little bit of late, but Ronnie Brown gets a great matchup against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay is one of those teams that allows their opponents to run on them quite a bit. They've only allowed 1 opponent so far to have less than 100 yards rushing against them. So Ronnie Brown is definitely a running back that's due. And also Pierre Thomas of the New Orleans Saints taking on the St. Louis Rams. The past couple of weeks, Pierre Thomas has been just absolutely nails for fantasy football players, and the Rams, one of the worst run defenses in the NFL. You look at Pierre Thomas, the Rams have allowed 9 rushing touchdowns so far in their last 4 games. Pierre Thomas has scored 3 in the last 2. That's a combination that you just got to take advantage of.
All right, there you go, folks. So you're running today, Chris Johnson, Ronnie Brown, and Pierre Thomas.
Yes.
Got it.
All right, that brings us to today's big matchup, of course, Cardinals Seahawks here at home. Jeff, the Redbirds just ran the ball down the throats of the Chicago Bears last week. What can we expect this Sunday?
Well, you know, it's going to be interesting. We're predicting a 30-13 victory. Cardinals over the Seahawks.
Okay.
And if you look at the running game, you got to look at Chris Wells and you got to look at Tim Hightower. Tess. Well, Beanie Wells has been averaging over 5 yards a carry. So has Tim Hightower. He's been averaging over 4 yards a carry. We think the running game is going to be real strong in this matchup. And if you look at what the Seahawks, they've allowed over 100 yards rushing against them the past couple of games as well. And then on the offensive side of the ball, you know, on the wide receiver spot, Larry Fitzgerald. You know, we talked about it last week. We said he needed to step up and have a big game, and it looks like you can look for for that again this week. We're probably going to see 100 yards receiving and a touchdown out of him as well, too, Tess. So looks like the Cardinal offense is going to take off against the Seahawks.
All right, Russ, what do you think about the defense? They've had some struggles here at home. Meanwhile, the Seahawks offense is getting pretty healthy. So what kind of matchup can we see in terms of that?
Well, the Cardinals are going to be missing 2 players from this game. Gerald Hayes and Cheeky O'Keefer, both linebackers, are both doubtful to play in this game. Neither one's expected to play. And the Seattle Seahawks get back Shane Locklear at the left tackle position. If you remember, a couple of weeks ago, the Cardinals put up 5 sacks on the Seattle Seahawks, but they were missing their left tackle. Now they've got him back. He's going to be in there. The Seahawks have only allowed 4 sacks in the last 2 games, so expect the Cardinals to have a little tougher time getting after Matt Hasselbeck than they had in the past. Also, with the Cardinals, you got to look at Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie and Bryant McFadden against T.J. Houshmandzadeh and Nate Burleson. Those 2 wide receivers have put up back-to-back good games. And it looks like as though the Cardinals are really going to have to be on their best game to take on Seattle today.
Now, Jeff was predicting a victory.
Our lineup analyzer is.
Okay, so
our software
okay.
is
I'm predicting one too.
Okay, I just thought that was your own personal
No, I can't do that. It's our software test that's predicting that victory. But I also believe they're going to win too.
This whole this whole thing of fantasy football just amazes me when I think about it. So this is just, of course, a sampling of what these guys offer on fantasyfootballstarters.com. So if you haven't signed up yet, there's still several weeks that you want to get some tips for, and they can go online and do that.
That's right. If they go to fantasyfootballstarters.com and register tests, and they email Jeff at fantasyfootballstarters.com, I will upgrade them to our Power Player package, which features all of our predictions, all of our alerts, all of our personalized power rankings, $9.95 value, absolutely free. And we've had over hundreds of Arizona residents in the last year sign up and give them the free offer. So we're going to keep doing it for News Channel 3 viewers.
Very good. Well, we will see you week 11 next Sunday.
You got it.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.